right in the heart with a silver bullet.
I think they plotting on me. Don't bite these feet when they enter the L.A.R. I feel a cold stare. Think I ain't looking. Maybe because I'm focused. No hands out for the hopeless. Funny bullets, I caught them shots. Another piece of the puzzle connecting dots. You can find the truth of that in liquor. One more shot to an empty bottle. Then she gon' walk in like a model for me. Like I don't see her intentions all in my scope. At a time we were just friends with advice to land. Not special, I was dead broke, but we still got hope. Don't put my words, just back and issue that raw dough. Just back and issue that raw dough. Back and issue that raw dough. To the people that listen to my people, they know that I do care. With their hands in the air, rocking side to side. Now my work, yeah, it's time to ride. Where my niggas at? My niggas ain't my niggas no more. Push me to the back, label to change up his swag. I do it for us, I'm pro-black. Don't rock it the shit, yeah. Wouldn't be so all type of African shit. Just rock a table fade, swagger tailor-made. Polo collars and fly kicks. Just polo collars and fly kicks. Exclusive shit, not get wet. Keep it coming, just don't stop. The revolution starts with shots. Bang.
I'm respectful to my people, and I want to represent my people, and I don't want to be a bad representative. I can't be blind, because the blind lead the blind, they all follow you.
Now my mama said, baby, act like you got sense. They act like I only act right for Lent. Been living in purgatory, brown nosing for heaven. Not sure if I'm getting in, cause I ain't paid a reverend. Who looking at me when I ain't looking, judging my character? I can't put down my guard on this planet, back in the camera. Ready for my close-up, the lens gets bigger. Won't play me on BET, cause I am not a nigga. My heart is like a powder keg, ready to explode. Smell like strange food, cause I'm America's cologne. It started with the hello, think you're a nice fellow. You're ballin' like Carmelo, you treat you like a fellow. L.A.R. be the star, turn a rapper to a prophet. Bulletproof 306, keep your hands in your pocket. Jordan rules for my life, you contain them, can't stop them. I'm niggas sky high, so the clouds can't drop them. My life is like a miracle, my words are just imperial. I'm edible, I'm audible, I'm digital, I'm visual. Spit like Komodo, go like Bruce Lee, Roy beating the mean as bad as Mofo in the dojo. Life is so amazing and raps like Jesus. They said hip hop is dead, but today look like Easter.
Now I wake up in the morning, I'm black and handsome as ever. However, you see me as strange fruit, will it ever happen, not again. A crook and just a homicide, he know it's self-defense. But since I'm black and since he white, he got no common sense. That's 1969, and he ain't Jesus Christ. He ain't coming back on Easter, he ain't got a second life. You know I'm right? Hold up, look. Now the sirens in my window here, pull it over. License and registration, gun ain't never in the holster. Plus, that man black too, he wanna act too. A nigga with an attitude and a badge too. A couple tattoos, hoping I act a fool so he can squeeze too. But it ain't nothing different, they the same thing. They pull him over, he gon' get the same thing. Maybe 2 up in his brain, 21 gun salute. Last words was I'm a copy, last heard fuck you. And he ain't coming back. You know I'm black like Jesus, but I ain't coming back for Easter. Y'all say goodbye. Everybody cry. Second line, but when the music stop, move on. Cause I ain't coming home. They know I'm black like Jesus, but I ain't coming back for Easter. Everybody cry. Y'all say goodbye. Second line, but when the music stop, move on. Cause I ain't coming home, I'm gone. And now she want welfare. Law said that they can't live there, so we ain't there. And life ain't fair, but the food free and the rent cheap. It's roaches where you sleep. He still came around and taught you baseball. Bought a Barbie doll, he raised all of y'all. And now the kids adults, they both up in the court. She want that child support, he on that child support. But he ain't never taught him baseball, and she ain't never bought him Barbie dolls. They both never there, no, never, not at all. Saying, well, pull your pants up, go while your ass out. They looking back saying, why, y'all ain't ever in the house? You got it backwards, don't you? I'm saying, cause we still preaching unity, and it's supposed to be family first in community. Got it in church to $1 for your blessing. We made in God's image, thinking we're Satan's mind. They got us crossed up, now Judas is Caesar. America bury me, but I ain't coming back for Easter. Yeah, they know I'm black like Jesus, But I ain't coming back for Easter, y'all say goodbye. Everybody cry, second line. But when the music stop, move on. Cause I ain't coming home, they know I'm black like Jesus. But I ain't coming back for Easter, everybody cry. Y'all say goodbye, second line. But when the music stop, move on. Cause I ain't coming home, I'm gone.
So, what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You gonna see some. It might be some issues with this camera. I don't know yet, but you know, if you see the thumbnail, you know what this is about. But it's gonna expound on a few other things. I'm feeling Teddy Pendergrass right now. You know, I think I better let it go. What you say now? This looks like another love TKO. Oh. So here's the question. So we saw the Roe v. Wade happening. We saw the protests. And then if you were watching stuff like the BET Awards and you've seen numerous women get up there and talk about how they were against Roe v. Wade being overturned, and you see people, black people blaming Clarence Thomas and whatnot, and like, okay, what does that have to do with it? Like, he's the only person there, whatever. But the more important part of this is the question that has to be asked, and the question is, isn't this equality? So I'm driving to work, and I was either work or to the gym. And they bring this up on the Ricky Smiley morning show. And I think it was Ricky Smiley that replied, and he said, well, I mean, men didn't have a choice at all. So, nobody cared about that. And you heard this pause, like this just silent pause, like, the people that were upset about Roe v. Wade getting overturned, they could say absolutely nothing because it's like they know this. So in this equation, you have three or more people: mother who's pregnant, father who impregnated her, and child or children, depending on if you have, twins, triplets, so on and so forth, right? There's only one person that ever got to make a choice. That's it. It was the mother's choice. If that life would come into the world, that's it. Father had no say so, and the father had no say so what goes on after the fact. And more importantly, part of the thumbnail, the kids who were unborn have no say so. And for the ladies who think about, feminism and equality and all of that, empowerment and this, that, and the third. Well, in essence, you got the same rights that men and your unborn kids have. It ain't your choice. Welcome to equality. You know what I'm saying? That's my thought. Like, welcome to equality. Welcome to the world we live in. Welcome to what we have to deal with, how we're living. And we see this in plenty of different aspects, but, to me, this becomes a problem of just people being spoiled and entitled. And sometimes when you're accustomed to something, because there are people who, they spent their whole lifetime being able to be pro-choice. So being quote unquote pro-life is against everything they've lived. So of course you're going to have people have a culture shock. But those people still don't want to answer the question of, is this or is this not equality? Because you're the only person that had an option. The other people didn't. So now you all don't quote unquote have an option. But we're going to take this to some other aspects. So, and I talked about this in a video that's coming out later. I'll take that back. I'm going to wait for that part. So I saw the clip of Taraji P. Henson saying, you have more laws for a gun than a woman's body. Now, I hear her. I get that, per se. But here's the problem. They say abortions, just in our community, just in the Black community, have ended over 20 million lives in that time since of Roe v. Wade, if I'm not mistaken. So in that time, you got, let's see, racism, white supremacy, wars, the drug war, the crack era, the drug epidemic. You count, if you want to count mass incarceration, and you throw in black on black crime. Which one of those things is over 20 million Black people? Which one of those things in number, just in numbers alone, which one of those things can actually beat abortion? Because I don't think guns could do it. And I'm going to tell you why. 600 murders in a city in the United States is a rough year. And usually those, if you have a city with 600 murders, there's like it's a particular city. It's a huge city, right? But let's just say there's hundreds of cities in America, but let's just, the top 100 metropolitan cities. You would have to think about a rough year on even us dying, black on black crime would have to be like 600 murders in 100 cities. See what I'm saying? So that would be like 60,000. 60,000. You take that in a year. You take that times 10, that's 600,000. 10 years. 20 years. Got 1.2 million. 30 years, 1.8 million. 40 years, 2.4 million. They don't touch abortion in a 40-year span. You want to go to 50 years, 3 million. Did 20 million of us die in war? I don't think so. So a lot of this stuff comes out of, people being upset. And it's like, I don't know if I could buy it. I don't know if I could buy it because, and you let people in the community talk even about the black on black crime. How much of that, spins back to a woman causing a situation that didn't exist, or making a situation worse that wasn't that bad, that caused somebody's death? So when people go, okay, well, what about the crime? What about racism? Hey, I hear you, but I don't think the numbers add up. I just don't think the numbers add up. Now, I didn't mention other races, because other races of people have had to have these crazy rates. Also, because let's just be honest, people talk about this this topic, and it has to be said over and over again. This is about white people who are the majority population quickly losing their numbers because of all these years of having these abortions and not having kids, and this, that, and the third. But so now we got to stop this. But here's the problem. For all the feminists and all that stuff, and this is, it's a man and a man and a man, and it's our body, da 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 da. And this is the point that I was going to bring up before I just had to talk about the numbers part. The problem with all of these far left people, just like the problem with these far right people, a lot of people are talking that are pro-choice, they don't have kids. They don't have kids. So people want to talk about you should have the ability and the option to do what you want with your body, but these people don't have kids. So you got to ask the question, the majority of them. When I see these people talking, the majority of them don't have kids. So when I see these people, and the people, some of these people used to be pro-choice and then they had kids and now they're pro-life, and because they became a parent, you get what I'm saying? So now they changed their political ideology. Because now all of a sudden, oh, it matters. Now, some people brought these things up, and I gotta get into it too. And I actually made a video about this years and years and years ago. For a community that was marching about saying that Black Lives Matter. But when it comes to abortion, we just go, huh? What had happened? See what had happened? What happened? I don't know. So all of a sudden, your whole MO changes. Because yeah, Black Lives Matter, okay, until it's a pro-choice issue. So people look at you like, we don't believe you. You need more people. But they got a lot of people. So now we having that situation. And then we got to take this other pro-Black situation. And what I mean pro-Black, you know what I'm saying. Pro-Black, people who are pro-Black, Ashe, you know what I'm saying, the Black family, the Black people need to be together, Black people need to do everything. We need to be a strong front, a united family. We need to come together as a people. And I heard a few brothers bring this up. I think it was Edward Anderson brought it up. I think O'Shea brought it up. So how can you be, so it's a negative thing if you're pro-Black, if you're dating interracially. That's negative. You having, dating interracially, having a relationship with somebody who isn't Black, that's you're not real, you're not Black enough anymore. You are sitting in a chair somewhere in the woods at somebody's house playing Get Out. And you're a sellout to the community. But you can have an abortion and still be pro-Black. So you can have multiple abortions and still be pro-Black. For Black people and Black families and Black children and this, that, and the third. That contradiction just doesn't go well. It just doesn't go well. It doesn't fly. You know what I'm saying? That dog won't hunt. What at least some people who think in this manner. Like, I don't know how pro-Black you are. Nah. We're gonna have to go there. And don't bear with me sometimes, because I really want to cuss sometimes, so I'm trying not to. Here's the other thing. So, and I heard Sergeant Willie Pete bring this point up, and I wanted to bring it up today. You know, oh man, cold-blooded. When people bring up the aspect of what if somebody, you know, was assaulted? What about if somebody, you know, they have a pregnancy where it could cost them their life? What are you doing? You're gonna stop people from those circumstances? And that was never, no, they're not gonna stop people from that in general. They're not. But the vast majority of you ladies who've been exercising your pro-choiceness, the vast majority of you didn't have pregnancies that'll kill you if you had a baby. The vast majority of you weren't assaulted. You're talking about a minority population that may not be over 5%. You know, and you talk about ladies and their mortality rate. You know, oh, what about the ladies who might wind up dying on the table? I hear you. But when you bring up that in a general sense, you know, America has the lowest death rate of when people are being born, when children are being born, I think, than anywhere in the world. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the lowest it's been in recorded history. So it's like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So that's a whole nother thing. Now, I gotta go there because going back to the question, isn't having no choice equality? For you ladies who feel like, oh, now I might have to drive here or fly here or do this or do that. Here's the problem. Nobody's going to care if you got to drive to another state or fly to another state, because guess what? You drive to other states and fly to other states and even fly to other countries for cosmetic surgery. You're flying around to get liposuction, to get a tummy tuck, to get a Brazilian butt lift, to get a boob job. So people are gonna go, oh my goodness, she's flying somewhere to get to get the old coat hanger treatment. Y'all gonna do what you've been doing. Girls trip. So it's not like, to me, it's just like, it's a waste of, time to act like this is not going to go down. Because it is. But with all these forms of contraception, to be upset about this, you got a problem. You get what I'm saying? You got a problem. So now we got to play this game, right? So now we're playing this game where who else has equality? Who? I mean, since we all got the same issue now. Now, I didn't lay that part out because we're gonna get to some offshoots of this. Because a lot of y'all have seen the two videos that went viral. One with the guy in the car that took a DNA test. And he said the baby wasn't his. The DNA proved it. And the lady was like, boy, that baby love you. And you still the daddy. And da-da-da-da-da. And then you had the brother who, both of them black men, by the way. And you had the brother who brought his kid some McDonald's. And the mother wanted the other 3 kids to get McDonald's too. But they wasn't his kids. So she spazzed out and threw the food on the ground. Now, what does that have to do with these situations? This has to do with equality. Because let me explain something to y'all. These guys didn't have an option once these women were pregnant. They didn't. They didn't at all. So you can see ladies don't realize you could lie to a guy, no problem, and just keep going. There's no penalty for that. There's none. So you can have a child or not have a child, and there'd be no penalty. You can have a child and manipulate a situation and have somebody else taking care of that child that presumes that that's their child, and there's no penalty for that. You can even have guys, paying, in the state, paying child support for a kid that's not theirs. And when it comes to not be theirs publicly, there's no penalty for that. There's no restitution for that. And you can have a situation where, we've seen it, where you sleep with somebody in the courtroom to get a favorable judgment. There's no penalty for that. Well, the judge ended up losing his job, but the lady got her judgment. So you also have to take into consideration, they're trying to take this type of stuff out of the court system at a particular point. Because guess what? It's too unequal to the point that it created a problem. Appreciate you. I got it. Had to do that too. Appreciate you, fam. So now we gotta talk a little bit about something along these lines. What you keep seeing and what these ladies keep saying, like we're still trying to figure out, how is this empowerment? See, that's the part that y'all don't get. Like, being able to do this for y'all is a part of female empowerment. So we're like, okay, well, you got the power to do whatever you want to do, but everybody else doesn't have the power to do whatever they want to do. So now you have the same power as everybody else. You don't have the power to do whatever you want to do, and that's a problem. But for everybody else, it's normal. It's normal. And when you see people who go around advertising and pushing that they're sexually free and they're sexually explicit, and they want to have sex and be sexual and have sex everywhere, and then they say, listen, I also want to have the option, if I wind up having a hot girl summer, to get rid of this baby, if I know the guy, if I don't know the guy, or if I want to set up a guy and I happen to get pregnant by that guy, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep that one. So now you got the equality. Look, whatever game you play, if you get caught up, you get caught up. That's on you. So we're going to take this somewhere else. I don't think it's dawned on some of you folks that at the end of the day, you've been taking people's choice away while you've been pro-choice with no problem. See, when you pro-choice, it's your choice to take away somebody else's choice. You had no issue with that. Like, if a guy wants the baby and you want to get rid of it, guess what? You took away his choice. It's to the point that people forget that you could, if you didn't want to take that route, you wanted to have the baby. There are stories of people taking these kids places and dropping them off, and the father has to find the kid, fight for the kid in the legal system, this, that, and the third, and track his own kid down that he has no rights to, not even after birth, because it's your body, your choice, and your option to say, you know what, I can get rid of it before it is born, and I can get rid of it after it's over. And a man can't, and the father of that child has no right, none whatsoever. And if he had, and I could drop the baby off somewhere where he has no right, if he has a right in this particular state, all I got to do is hold off long enough for him not to find out that it's me. So now, guess what? You having no choice is equality. And then, to add insult to injury, and people don't want to bring this up sometimes, but using the how can I say this gently? I made a video using part of the same thumbnail. How many want to talk about the people who actually are in relationships and they cheated on their partner and they got pregnant cheating? And and they know the baby would, they're uncertain if the baby is going to even match the description of their husband or boyfriend. And because it's a vast difference between the husband and the boyfriend than it is the quote unquote baby daddy. How often do we have to talk about that? This is why people talk about paternity fraud so much. I know of stories personally where, wife dips out, multiple guys, it becomes a sexless marriage. It becomes a lot of arguments and attitude, really because the wife went to Planned Parenthood to get rid of a baby that she knows ain't her husband's. What about when people are like military wives? And guys are, off. And she's doing her thing. And then, oops, she has a baby. What are we going to do? The time don't add up. Got to get rid of this baby. See, we don't have these kind of discussions a lot of times because guess what happens? People don't want to talk about the situations that men go through because men don't have a choice. The cheating aspect doesn't come out until a woman gets her feelings hurt. But how far down the line do we have to go? You got to understand something. There's basically a television show genre built around paternity testing. So now you don't have a choice. Congratulations. We don't either. Right. So now we got equality going here, man. Here's the equality. Here's equality for you. Damn, thanks, fam. Now we gotta just go ahead and get down to it. Just gotta get down to it. I'm sorry. Looking back all the years, I think I shedded some tears. I've told myself time and time again, this time I'm gonna win. But it's another fight, things ain't right. I'm losing again. It takes a fool to lose twice and start all over again. I think I better let it go. And why am I singing Love TKO right now? Because we don't want to talk about all the rainbow abortions. Looks like another love TKO. Oh, when she says she like girls, and she wound up getting pregnant by a guy when she didn't want to get pregnant by a guy, and now she got to get rid of the baby because she's still in the closet. I think I better let it go. What you say now looks like another love TKO. Oh, and let's take this a little bit further, shall we? Because ain't nobody get a choice on that too, right? So is this not equality? So let's talk about the kids for a second. Any of you people ever just you people who you calling you people, right? How often do people who are alive say, you know what, I wish my parents never had me, really? What's the percentage of that? Like, what's the percentage of people who say, I wish my parents never had me? And they really mean it. They really mean it. Because if you want to be honest, you know, I'm getting that too, fam. If you want to be honest, less than 5%. So if you're alive, talking about you should have the right to make sure a kid doesn't come to the world, but you glad you here, you're a hypocrite. You're glad that they chose you, but you want to be the type of person, I don't want to do this for somebody else. Because let's just be honest about this. It's equality because you have no choice, because, you know, selfishness is in control is what this is about. So you want to be selfish and you want to have control. And at the end of the day, you want to make being selfish and being overly controlling a norm. And now it's like, nah, we can't make that a norm because it's been a norm too long and it's done too much damage. Because like Astro Knight said, men don't have a choice when you put them on child support. Do we? It's to the point where it's the default mechanism. You think that guys should go to court and fight for their kids. Because you don't have to. Because guess what? It's your body, your choice, and your baby because it came out of your body. It's not his baby until the court deems it to be his baby. But he surely is on the hook for taking care of the baby, right? Interestingly enough. So how real is it? You know, what's the real option here? What real choice does he have? If he has to go to court, even if he wants to be a parent, he has to go to court to do it. Because, hey, if you want to hold a baby from him, it's not a big deal. If your family want to hold a baby from him, it's not a big deal. It's not. It's all legal. It's all good. You know, if you want to kidnap the kid and go to another state, it's all legal because it's your body, your choice. And it's got so far. And here's the interesting thing about it. It's gone so far. You know, and these stories are rare. I will tell you that. But it's gone so far that mothers are losing their kids to babysitters. Because, you know, they choose to put a stranger, their kids in the custody of a stranger, more so than they would their kids of the parent. So now you don't have equality. You don't have no choice. Good, you got equality now, because these dads don't have no choice either. They don't know where their kids at half the time. Same guys you calling to get deadbeat don't even know where their kids at half the time because you played Houdini and disappeared. So now, oh my God, you have to be held accountable for something. It's illegal. No, it's called equality. And that's what it is, equality. Now you're held to a standard that you don't like because you might actually be liable for effing something up. So what? Your problem. Your problem from your choice. Because everybody else got to deal with it. Y'all don't have a problem, saying, you know what, I ain't feeling this baby situation, get rid of it. Some of y'all have gotten rid of baby. Yeah, some of y'all wanted to date bad boys. You got pregnant by bad boys, and then you realized you didn't want to be with a bad boy. You didn't want to have a bad boy's baby, so you got rid of the baby. Did the baby have a choice? No. Did the bad boy have a choice? No. I mean, you liked him so much, right? Or, or you decided to have a baby and you went to court and you became a snitch. You done basically became Tekashi 6ix9ine because you like bad boys, and now you got pregnant by a bad boy, and now you in the court at a family court hearing talking about he still dope to the community. He done shot 3 people. He out here stealing cars. Oh my goodness. So you went to family court to bring up criminal charges, but guess what? Why? Because he don't have a known income. And now you want him to pay for it. So it's like, okay, so these guys don't have a choice. And then on top of that, we're going to take it a little further when, we're out here in this society where, brothers don't have no choice because you made up that you wanted to have you made up your mind that you wanted to have a kid before he knew. He had to figure that out while you was pregnant. So a lot of these breakups and fallouts is because people knew that they wanted to have a kid. And it was their body and their choice that they wanted to get pregnant. So they played the I'm on the pill, I'm on a shot, I got the NuvaRing, blah, 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 blah. It's okay. I'm good. I'm going to take the Plan B pill. Like, let's just go here for a second. Because, you not having a choice is equality, because how many times have we seen scams with abortion? How many times have we seen women buy iPhones, clothes, cars, and even houses by going out having unprotected sex and telling people, hey, send me $300, $400 for an abortion, and they saying it's to multiple men just to collect money every month? How many times have we seen that? See, this abortion thing isn't a serious thing. It's been a hustle. How many times we've seen that? How many? How many times have this come across in your lifetime that people have played that game? Or what is the other one they was doing? The fake pregnancy test scam, where people was using protection or using it sporadically, and a girl gets a fake pregnancy test online to say she's pregnant, and then you start having unprotected sex with it, and then you get her pregnant. That was your, but it's her body, her choice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay. There's been a hustle. It's been a hustle. Oh, the old turkey baster. The old. Why do you think Drake out here hot saucing people? Because guess what? It's your body, your choice. Even if you fish a condom out of the garbage can. Does he have a choice in that? Is there any Is there any good court going that we're going to give you some goodwill due process? No. You shouldn't have had sex with it. You shouldn't have had sex with it with a condom. You should have protected the condom after you took it off. You know, it's not our fault that she went into the trash and got a condom and put it in there and had a baby just because she wanted something. She wanted a baby or she wanted some money out of you. Too bad. So now you got to deal with the consequences? Because what are you ladies going to say? If y'all get pregnant, y'all going to put these guys on child support and y'all going to ruin their life through the system? Guess what? These guys already know this. It's the norm. Only difference is now you can't, you can't back out if you decided to smash, the ugliest dude of all time and you didn't want nobody to know. Or you try to smash somebody, granddad or great granddad, for some money, and you didn't mean to get pregnant by Mr. And now he's 72 on his last leg on his way out, and you pregnant, and you don't want to tell nobody it's somebody's daddy's daddy. Welcome to equality. You just can't cover it up now. So now what we gonna do? Now what are you gonna do? Because the men didn't have a choice, the unborn kids didn't have a choice, and now you don't have a choice. And what's the problem? And going back to this, when I was talking about the BET Awards, because Taraji P. Henson was the one who brought up the guns. And I think like either half or the majority of them ladies didn't have kids, because I saw it was Taraji P. Henson, Leto, Megan Thee Stallion, and I think Lizzo talked about it, and who am I missing? Janelle Monáe. Let me tell you the hypocrisy in this. So you got women who don't even want to identify as women now to say that it's my body and it's my choice. Welcome to equality. You don't even get to speak because you remember you're pansexual. You need to be identified as a they. So when does I believe it's something like that. So you're a woman part-time when you feel like it, and now all of a sudden you're a woman now. No. What's happening? When did you become a woman again? See, this is what I mean by having no choice is equality, because you got so much, it's been so lopsided that you can hop out of being what you were born and then hop back into it when it's convenient for you, even though you don't even have kids and you don't want kids because you don't identify yourself as a man or a woman. You have think about this. You got women who talking about they have masculine energy and they can be masculine and feminine. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to this issue, we got a problem. It's about woman's body. What about your masculine energy? What is your masculine energy saying? Appreciate it, man. What is your masculine energy saying? I just want to know. What does this mean? Does anybody know? Because that, to me, it's equality. You should shut up because your femininity and your masculinity is just at odds. That's a wash. It's a draw. It's a draw. It's like, hey, well, feminine side wants something, masculine side wants something. Hey, man, we just got to meet in the middle somewhere. Love is love. What about the babies? Y'all don't have babies. It's crazy. It's literally crazy. Not figuratively, literally. So then, that's why I say it's like equality, man. It's equality. This is definitely equality. And I don't understand why you upset about equality. This is what you asked for. Equality. You remember you wanted to have, you a boss chick. Boss chicks don't have kids no way, right? So, or should I flip this around and say, because all of y'all boss chicks, because y'all are boss chicks and you want to be boss chicks and bosses and female empowered and women's empowerment and women's movement and this, that, and the third, what you're saying is every time you've had a kid, you got rid of it because you wanted to climb the quote unquote corporate ladder or the social ladder. That ain't got nothing to do with guys. It doesn't. And that's the problem. And then you get older and if anybody has ever watched the show, Being Mary Jane, the old Gabrielle Union show, when she got older and she started stealing guys' sperm and putting it in her freezer to impregnate herself. Did the guys actually have a choice? That was just normal behavior. It's just not a big deal. Did the guys have a choice? No, they didn't. I think you're the one. The one for what? You took my what? And you did what? And it's where? Huh? See, this is the games people play. So now we got to actually ask, some real questions. So now that you've exposed the fact that you didn't really want equality, what do you really want? And furthermore, why is this why? And a tough question for me is, why is this a rainbow issue? Why is the rainbow community having an issue with this? Nobody ever, I brought something up earlier, but why? Does anybody, because, is it their right to get married is next? They weren't having no kids, no way. How is Roe versus Wade a rainbow issue? They can't produce kids if they actually, staying with the same sex. So what's going on here? What's really going on here? So are y'all trans heterosexual? Y'all trans hetero too? You identify as this until so you can get a kid out of it one time, and then you putting it down like, what we talking about here? Doesn't make sense. And you ladies are all y'all intersectionality'd up, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up whatsoever. So, if anybody can answer that question, I would love to hear it. Now, to me, this is some BS. Because, like I said, as guys, we done dealt with this forever and a day, man. It's nothing new. Nothing. Say what you will, it's nothing new. So, to me, it's flat out equality. Because if I ain't got no options and the kids ain't got no options, now you ain't got no options, so be it. Yeah. Exactly. When they ready to, and that's what, and people know that's what some of the chicks do. The chicks, they find a guy, some of these women want kids and then they find a guy or multiple guys to play the one night stand game and then they disappear. I don't know if y'all ever been in this situation. You ever been out? And this is different. This is off topic, but on topic. If you ever been out and you've seen a couple of ladies and they asked you if you want to go home for a threesome, but they were together, take into consideration that one or two of them chicks is trying to get a baby. Just take that into consideration. Just mull that over in your thoughts. They didn't just, they picked you out of the blue, stranger, because they used to do the threesome thing. Exactly. They used to do the threesome thing. Oh, I want you. Yeah. It ain't just a beard situation where they want to get a guy to be the beard or whatever. No. Some of these chicks want kids. And they go out, how can I say this? They go out playing like they're having a hot girl summer when they're trying to actually have a baby for them and their girlfriend. Just so you know. So some of you guys, it could be if it's your lucky night, and understand you might have got played. They just might be on the hunt, taking fertility pills and all kinds of stuff. The same thing out when these girls is going to happen more because, quote unquote, inflation in the economy. You're going to see, ladies trying to give it up a little bit more. And now, because if you got your life together in any kind of decent way that inflation is not killing you, don't be surprised if she's planning a trap baby. Her body, her choice, your baby. You got to help take care of your baby because you don't have a choice in that. Worse the economy gets, the more people pull this stuff. So to me, it's just like, it's equality now. But the problem is, for the people who used to do it with random people, now you really got to commit this crime with somebody You really got to. You really got to, because having babies with strangers don't necessarily work out. Because I think what y'all forgot before I go, you remember the news stories of the, what was the white guy in New York that was just was the sperminator? He was just getting multiple people pregnant over and over and over and over and over again. He was just getting multiple women pregnant. He got like 50 something women pregnant. And it's like, okay, not a big deal, right? Oh, okay. So now, what do you think keeps happening over and over and over again? Your body, your choice. And it's gonna keep happening. It's gonna keep going down over and over and over and over until this little what do you call that? Until this little it's not a depression, until this recession dies down. We're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have this issue. And people, and on top of that, a lot of this really has to do with one particular thing. It also has to do with population and increasing population. But now we all equal because you got the same no options that I have has another little aspect of it. Now you're forcing these ladies who thought they could do whatever they want to do to actually have to sit at the table and deal with these men that they thought that they used the system to finesse all the time. And that's a difficult thing. Like, they were accustomed to getting over on guys. Now you actually got to sit down and hash these things out, because even if you're using the system, it might cost you too much. So God forbid you wind up effing a guy to get what you want, and you F yourself in the process, because people forget that it's gotten to the point where ladies are asking for so much in child support court, they're getting less than what the guy would be giving them if they didn't go to court. So, welcome to having our options. Congratulations. And welcome to having your unborn kids options. Congratulations. This is what you worked hard for, ladies. You got it. So, I'm going to leave it at that. You see the trolling going on. It's ridiculous. But I'm going to go ahead and put this outro on and get out of here, y'all. Peace.
It looks like a job for Superman.
Do this,
Spoken from the lips of the young, of the old.
fear of me.
Yeah. Gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way.
I guess I'm taking off the cake through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took a break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, plus when I'm drunk, I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the king of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you still follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound, but I can't stand fair weather friends, and I just fly around. My super friends in Justice League, only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what? We had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And me, I play to win, but I ain't playing in these streets. And life is not a joke, then again it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite, life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it.
Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you for coming out. Listen, I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly.